Hello crafters, this is Martha here. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel, for stopping by and taking a look at this absolutely gorgeous layout. I've been working a lot, so I haven't been able to play. This is what I call play. I am just so excited to sit down and play with this Lillian paper. I've been dreaming about it, and literally this purple perfect palette, once you get this paper and you start to work with it and run it through the embossing, oh my god, it feels and looks like buttercream frosting to me. Maybe I'm on a diet too long and that's why I think that this is buttercream frosting, but regardless, this is just gorgeous paper. So I want to show you what I did here real quick. I used the, I think this is called the wildflower paper die, that is the circles. And I used that on top. I used the outside layer to make the perfect little circle. And I'm thinking, I must be thinking desserts because this looks like a cake to me. So this is the flip and pop and spin flip little accordion that I like to do on the top of layouts to add more pictures. And this is what I put together here. So this is the outside of it, and it has little different colors in it. I kind of went in there and pulled out just a couple of different ones. I have it laid on top of gold. So I'm going to deconstruct this for you because I did not glue everything down. I like to show you my steps and let you be able to follow along if you wish, or take it a different direction. I think that's awesome. So here is the outside. I put the different layers, and then I did a circle gold, and then I did the little M flip and pop out accordion that we put on top of where the pictures go. When you do this, you fold your paper, glue it together, and then you want to make sure that you're fold so that you can continuously do this. Remember when you were in kindergarten and we used to do little people hands together, holding hands together? You have to make sure that this little circle part right here is outside of inside of the cutting mat, so that you don't get a circle, but you get to be able to continuously fold it out. So you're going to be folding, and then you measure how big the circle is, and then you can make the next fold right here so that it's inside. And then when you have the next little circle, you're also going to have that on the inside. So I usually do two. I fold and then I glue it together. Here there is a glue mark right here, and there's a glue mark right here. So then I use the outside circles of all of the other dies. They came in a set. I'm sure that some of you guys might have bought them. And I did just a little bit of double-sided tape so that we're able to put pictures in there. I like to kind of decorate as much as I can, and then I'm go back and put pictures in it. You see how we can easily slide a little picture in between here. Just barely, and I'm sure I can also pull that apart because I barely put any double-sided tape. When it goes down permanently for me, I put a lot of glue. But I kind of was thinking these could also be pretty little circle baby pictures. You know how they used to have those little baby faces? So 4 pictures this way, 2 pictures this way. This is going to glue to the top, which is the gold, and this is going to glue to my accordion, or my little fan rosette here that I made really big so that I'm able to hold this together. So when I do the rosette, and it's not going to be the perfect size rosette, I use this little chipboard here that's the same size as this, so I knew how big the rosette was going to go around it. I use 4 12-inch strips here. So I do a little pencil mark, you can see that right here, and I do a Sharpie right here on this little corner. I did another Sharpie right here. I mark my spots so that when I'm hot gluing stuff in, I'm bringing everything in. I kind of start and do the top and the bottom, and then I do these little pieces, and you kind of bring them all in so that they can be kind of sort of the same. Now you know the trick with the heating gun, and I just use that, and mine is my brand new heat tool. I kind of heat it up, and if I mess up or if I don't like the way it ends up, I'll heat it and move it around with the hot glue. So this is the top, okay? And then you can see that we have the flowers, and then of course some little gold flowers, because I like to mix it up with my flowers. I don't want them to be the same. I want them to look like a bouquet of flowers. Of course, flowers, all roses are also beautiful if that's what you like. This is just the way I like to kind of mix them up and move them around so that they're all different leaves and all different flowers. You get a lot of mileage on your flowers that way also. Okay, so here's a little bit of a gold. And then on this corner, which is where I plan to put my date or my journal, I doubled it up, okay? So this one says love every moment. I'm planning on putting a little pop-up dot and putting it right there. I probably put the date in here somewhere. So here is this one. And then of course I will add more flowers to the corner once it's here. Now the next little step here is our embossing folder. We use the extra long lacy one. And it is a 3-inch strip. You run through here. You have to cut it first, which is this tool right here. So you cut it, and then you run it through the machine and emboss it. And yes, it does not emboss perfectly. If you want to make it perfectly, I think you need to wet the paper first before you emboss it so that it sits just perfectly. I did not do that. Because the paper is organic and it's going to move around a little bit. And I even, on one of these strips, I even ran it 2 or 3 times because I didn't feel like it was getting enough embossing. It wasn't marking it exactly where it needed to be at. So anyway, that is what we do with that. And then let me tell you this quick little trick that I want to show you with the, when you go and cut the 2 strips together, you put them together. And what I like to do is I put a tiny bit of glue on them so that it holds together. I put to miter the corners. Let's pretend this one is here, and then I'm going to miter it right into that little spot, which doesn't make sense because it's not sitting where you want it to sit, right there. So let's pretend I'm going to miter that right there, and I'm going to cut right into the corner. Okay, so you're going to end up with this little scrap, and then you're going to end up with this one. And then here is where you're going to end up with the perfect little mitered corner. Now let's say that corner wasn't absolutely perfect and it was a little open. Use this scrap to glue underneath and fill in the space, the exact same embossing space. It's going to look really good. And who knows where that little piece is going to end up at. Maybe you might have a flower in there. If you're having a hard time mitering, keep your little scraps and fill your scraps in with that. I will show you the back of mine that looks good to me. It may not be absolutely perfect. And here is the back. The back here, you see that little scrap right there? You see that little scrap right in between? And those are just little pieces that I was kind of holding together so that when you run your little miters aren't absolutely perfect. So just fill them in. That's what caulk does, right? On our walls. So there's that piece. This is a 9.5 little window here is what I measured. And then the outside is the 12-inch paper. Here, I will lift this one up so I can show you. I just barely had them down with a little bit of tape. And then the same thing goes here. You see that? I was kind of holding these little pieces together. So I said, gosh, I should just use them in green and that would hold those little spaces in there better. So here's that little window. And then here we have the perfect little paper. This is a 2.5-inch border. And then I just flipped, because it's double-sided, I just flipped it over. And of course it matches just perfectly because it was printed together. So super easy page. Will we call this the title page to our new book? I don't know. To me, all of them are beautiful and all of them should be title pages. So I just wanted to kind of show you real quick how that went for me. The hot gluing this little thing in, super easy. And always remember that you can always move this around. If you just heat it up with your tool a little bit, that'll hold. I kind of wish I'd made it a little bit smaller so I can see a little bit of this purple, but I barely see any of it. There we go. We put our little date journaling card, kind of sits right in that little space. Put our little title in there, add all our gorgeous flowers. Where will we put all our flowers? I'm not sure yet. I might just do, because this circle here in the middle is so gorgeous, I might just add a little bit of a some flourishes or flowers going around this way and not doing in every corner. I'm kind of it's getting feeling old to me if I put stuff in every corner all the time. So our little flip accordion, super easy to do. Put that in the middle. A little gold right here. There we go. And here is our page for our Lillian. Super easy, super cute. Lots of techniques for you to try out. Miter those corners and caulk them with a little piece of that tape in the back. Flip your corner over on your last page. When you have Lillian, is all double-sided, at least the papers I have. So flip it over so that you can use it somewhere else. You kind of barely see a little peekaboo of that little area there. And here we have the finished page. The layout came out really nice, but it is a page for those who love fat scrapbooks. If you do not love the fat scrapbook, I'm sure that you can do this little circle of the rosettes, just maybe a flourish and not do a rosette of that area. So I ended up doing it flat with the pink, and I do have some hot glue in there somewhere. And so I ended up putting all the flourishes or the flowers in this bottom area. I kind of like that. I like having a little white space up above, and maybe if I wanted to put a date on it, I could probably put it down here or maybe on the other side. I'll see where it falls in the actual area. But this is a really special little page because it's just little circles. So we end up with 4 little circles that we can put pictures in. And then in the back, we have 2 little circles we can put pictures in. And then, of course, something really pretty in the front would be really nice. I just kind of wanted to show you how it ended up being finished. And here we are. Alrighty. The other thing that I did on this area that I didn't have before is the ephemera. It's absolutely gorgeous in this. So what I did with the ephemera is I did 2 of them, one going sideways, and then I want to say it was another one going up, kind of like this. And I wrinkled it up and inked it up and made it a little bit dirty. Not very Anna Griffin-like, but I like it. It adds a little bit of a different texture to it. So it goes in like this, and I kind of wrinkled it up and inked it a little bit, gave it some age around the edges. And so that kind of helps give it a little bit of a different look to it. So let me know your thoughts and leave me a comment. I did this page last night. I let it sleep in my thoughts just were not quite loving it. And so I kind of rearranged it, and I wanted to show you what I did differently. So this is my Lillian paper collection from Anna Griffin. And I wanted to showcase more of the Lillian paper. So I kind of tweaked this a little bit. First of all, I added some butterflies here on the corner. I added some more of the little gold flourishes to the ends here to kind of balance my little circle of rosettes behind here. My rosette is not perfectly circular. It's kind of a little bit more ovalish, but for me, that's okay. I'm happy with it. I'm okay with it. For you, maybe you might want to do it a little bit more perfect, and more power to you. You know that if you use your hot glue gun, you can use a heating tool to move it after it's already dry. So try that out if you want to take it apart. So I'm one that does not like to take things apart, even if they go down not so perfect. So not so perfect page. We were talking about the mitering on here, and I wanted to let you see close up that yes, my mitering is not absolutely perfect, and I'm okay with that. I like it. I'm happy with it. It's going to be under your plastic page protector. I think it's going to be okay. So I'm going with it. So here's my little circular die that came from Anna Griffin. It is the Wildfire cut and emboss. Let me think, what is it called? It is a, let's look at the paper. Cutaway circle frame dies that came with the 3 sets. And this is what I call the wild flowers. They have roses, they have little berries, they have little daisies of some sort. And that is what I use to cut my little circle out of. And then when I was finished with this page, I felt like it didn't showcase enough of the gorgeous Lillian paper. So I opened it up and I went back and made 4 circles of the Lillian paper, of my favorite. So before it was just the pink here, and then I came and put this little paper in between. I do have it set up quite loose right now so that I can maybe slide a picture in here. A little baby picture maybe would be really cute, or some kind of little journaling would be really cute. So it's a very loose kind of glue set. I do have a magnet in here. I have a magnet at the bottom and on the side and on the other side so that I can keep everything intact. So that is how my little page ended up being, where I liked it a little bit better. So it's the 4 little circles, and I kind of like that. I like that. And then the back I did also the same thing. I kind of left it a little bit loose in the middle so that maybe I can go and add something different to where those flowers are at. Will I do that? I don't know. I am famous for never putting pictures in my books because I love the paper so much. Why would I put some picture in there? But I understand that this is scrapbooking and we're supposed to put pictures in here, so I'm okay with it. Just wanted to show you how I finished it up. To make it a little bit softer, I was having a hard time looking at the hard edges of the rosette. I went and add a tiny little bit of tulle right here in the middle of it. I just kind of got some tulle from my fabric stash, and I kind of like it. It looks kind of more like a veil, and I kind of like that. So I wanted to show you what I did to it. I didn't completely tear it apart, but I did go and add more Lillian paper to it. So take a look. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, leave me a comment, let me know what your thoughts are. And here we are with our little flip. It does not twist or turn on me this time because it's a circle. I'm hoping that you'll be able to get some pictures in here that don't need to be twisted. Okay, let's make some more Lillian scrapbook pages. Bye. Talk to you later.